I like to annoy my sister Naomi because it's a lot of fun and I just get good reactions out of her. Also because it's so easy. So one day, I decided to annoy her by tying one of her dolls around the neck to the leg of a chair. I used 2 timber hitches to do this. She came in and said, "Gabriel, that hurts her!" and then left and started crying.
Gabriel, that hurts her!
As I said before, I used 2 timber hitches, which are knots that can be used to drag objects across the ground. I'm going to give you an introduction to 4 Boy Scout knots and talk about some knot terminology first. The part of the rope or material you're tying with, the part you're working with as you're tying the knot is called the working end. The part you are not working with as you're tying the knot is called the standing end. And anything in between that, just all this, is the standing part. Any U-shape within a rope is called a bight. It's spelled B-I-G-H-T. See, there's a bight. Now, I'm going to tie the first knot, which is called the timber hitch, and this is the one I used to tie up Naomi's doll. There. Looks like that. Now, this can be used to drag objects over rough ground. This knot, called the square knot, is the knot the Boy Scouts use for first aid, and they also use it. It's actually the first knot in BSA you're supposed to learn. So you're not never ever ever use it for critical loads. Never ever ever, because the website www.animatedknots.com says that there have been more lives lost as a result of using a square knot as a bend, which is to tie 2 ropes together, than the failure of any other half-dozen knots combined. Never use it for critical loads. And critical loads meaning whenever someone's property is at stake or someone's life is at stake. Or I should say special property. This is the bowline. Here, I want to see the front of it. And the Boy Scouts use this for securing lines to canoes and in first aid. If you need to rescue somebody, or if you need to rescue yourself, you can tie this around yourself with one hand if one arm is broken. And there are also lots of other ways you can use it too. And this is called the clove hitch. The clove hitch can be used to change the position of theater scenery by tying it on a pole and then moving the sorry, cat's up on Mom's lap, and then moving the pole, or turning the knot. This changes the vertical position of the theater scenery. Also, can be used to secure a boat fender to a railing, and you secure it with 2 half hitches after that. Now, according to animatedknots.com, the clove hitch has 2 giant faults. It slips and paradoxically can also bind. It binds when you add too many extra hitches onto the first clove hitch, which results in the first clove hitch becoming very hard to untie. As you can see, knots can be very useful. However, you have to be careful about which knots you use for what purposes. I hope you've enjoyed learning something about knots.